Let's talk about what is an AI agent. It's related to, but slightly different from agentic AI. And this is what is happening with AI right now, where we're seeing a transformation from chatbots to AI agents. Hi, I'm Maria Korolov. I am a technology journalist. I've been covering enterprise technology for over 20 years, and lately I've been covering artificial intelligence and how businesses use it. So I don't cover the vendor side, I don't cover the investment side, I don't cover the consumer side. I write about what actually happens inside companies that are deploying AI, what works and what doesn't. And so for consumers and for businesses, agentic AI means slightly different things. And an AI agent and an agentic AI system also mean slightly different things. Okay, so first of all, let's start with a chatbot, ChatGPT. You ask it a question and it tells you, do I look fat in this dress? And you upload a picture and it says, yeah, you're looking kind of chunky. Or it says, oh my God, no, you're looking beautiful, right? Whatever. That's a chatbot. You ask it a question, it gives you an answer. You say, write me a poem, it writes you a poem. Um, you say, how many ounces in a cup, and it says, I don't know, 16 ounces in a cup. That's that kind of comment answer, question answer kind of thing. That's what a chatbot does. And it gives you the most likely answer based on its training history and its, maybe it might look up some data on the internet for you. Um, an AI agent will carry out instructions on your behalf that have multiple steps or interact with other systems. So, for example, instead of just saying, write me a song or write me a poem, you might say, create a Word document and, and write a song in that Word document. Or create a spreadsheet for me and, have the poem be in the spreadsheet. Or create a PowerPoint presentation for me about whatever topic after doing some deep web research. So you can ask it to check my email and see if there's anything I should be answering today. You can say, look at my bank balance and let me know if any of my checks are about to bounce. Or I need a dress that doesn't make me look fat. Go and buy one for me. So that's an AI agent. It does things for you. And it's a spectrum. So when you ask it to do deep web research, is it acting like an agent? Is it acting like a chatbot? So it's kind of like, there's gradations here. The more power it has, the more useful it's going to be, and the more dangerous it's going to be. So if you ask it to check your bank balance, buy you stuff, now it has access to your finances. If it hallucinates something or somebody tricks it into doing something bad, bad things can happen. So that's the AI agent part of it. And we are definitely entering the era of AI agents. Um, so now the way AI agents work behind the scenes is that there's an agentic system behind it. And this agentic system is made up of agents, but in a slightly different definition of the word agent. So, which it was super confusing when I was writing about this because literally everybody I talked to used the word agent in a different way. So, like computer people have been using the word agents for ages, decades, where an agent is any small, like, computer application that does something, right? So, like, everything could be an agent. You might have an agent on your computer checking to see if a virus has installed itself on your laptop, and that could be an agent. Like, so, yeah, so very, very vague term, lots of different ways to use it. And so an agentic system is made up of these small agents. And some of these agents are just computer software, like checking to see if there's a virus in your system. And some are AI powered tools that call a large language model like ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or, any of a million other ones. So you have these tiny little agents. Um, they're part of an agentic system, and at the top of this system is the chatbot that is powered by this whole agentic AI. And that chatbot has now been promoted to an AI agent because it has this infrastructure behind it. And so, again, we have two different definitions of AI agent. One is an AI agent that has an agentic system behind it of multiple agents all working together. And another one is that it just can do stuff for you. It can go online, check your bank balance. It can do some web research for you. So, and these things overlap. So, for example, you might say, find me everything about dinosaurs. And there might be an agentic system behind that where you have an orchestrator agent that makes a plan. And the orchestrator agent might say, I'm going to research, I'm going to come up with 10 topics for this. Then I'm going to have all different agents, research each of those 10 topics. Then I'm going to have another agent collate all of these, summarize them, prioritize them. I'm going to have another agent create a little nice report for it. And these are all specialized agents that I've trained to do that specialized thing. So one agent can be good at summarizing, another agent can be good at planning, and another agent can be good at finding things online, and another agent can be good at verifying how accurate an online source is and how reliable it is. So you have all these specialist agents working behind the scenes, working together to produce your research report. And to you, it looks like you have one chatbot that you're talking to, but there's a bunch of stuff happening behind the scenes. So that's agentic AI. Um, and yeah, so a lot of vagueness about these definitions. There's a bunch of stuff that's just traditional old chatbots that have been rebranded as AI agents because the vendors want them to make them sound smarter than they are. So yeah, it's a very confusing thing. And the reason I say that we're in the age of AI agents, and we are in the age of AI agents, and the reason is that um, the chatbots that we are most often using, like ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini, have evolved into these agentic systems. They can now do more stuff for us by having, instead of just a single back and forth with a large language model, they now work through a mixture of experts model where they have lots of different agents doing different things in various areas of expertise, which results in a much, much higher quality of results, much higher accuracy, um, more relevance, more thoroughness, all the stuff that we're looking for in AI. We're getting that through agentic systems. And it's one of those step functions that accelerates AI, even though the underlying models may not be getting that much smarter, because there's a limit in how smart a given computer can get given the resources it has, right? You run into physics. You can't keep going up forever. At a certain point, things level off. And it's the S curve of technology. You have slow development, sharp development, and then slow development again. All technologies work this way. It's the S curve. But what happens is we get a little step function when you hit this plateau. And you get a different way of looking at this technology or a different kind of technology. And all of a sudden we are at a another S curve. So agentic AI is another one of those steps up. Step steps up. Yeah. So even if we have the same LLMs that we had before, the same large language models like ChatGPT that we had before, the fact that we can now use different versions of them, fine-tuned to do different things in combination with each other, means that we can get a much, much better result with the same underlying technology. And when we have slight improvements in the underlying technology as well, plus this big improvement in orchestration and composition, we get a giant jump in capability. And we're seeing that. If you have used ChatGPT lately or Claude or any of these tools like the frontier models, you will have seen that it might not feel like all that much smarter, but all of a sudden it's getting a lot more capable. So for example, um, I was looking at my Vanguard page to figure out what the SEP IRA distribution limits were. And I was using Claude. Claude now has uh, Gemini built into it. And I hit that little AI button there in my Chrome browser. And I said, I'm looking at this page. What does that even mean? And Gemini explained it all to me and told me what my limits were and everything else. And and then it said, oh, and by the way, I see that you got a relevant 1099 in your email. It's in your inbox. I was like, I did not expect it to do that. I did not know I had authorized it to do that. I'm sure I must have at some point because I'm trying to get my inbox under control. But it was on a totally different task in my browser looking at my Vanguard webpage to explain the meaning of terms to me. So slightly faster than like cutting and pasting into Google, but basically the same thing, right? Gemini is Google. So yeah, it's very capable, and it was right. I did have that email in my inbox, and how it found it, and how it knew it was relevant, and all this other stuff. That's the jump in capability that we're seeing as a result of agentic systems. Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy. It's happening out there. All the coding assistants that are being used, like Claude Code, those are agentic systems. They have an orchestrator that makes a plan, like what do we need to have in the software. It assigns smaller agents to do various parts of the project. It has them check the results and look for errors and test things and make sure it's cohesive and designed and all these other things that go into writing software. Cloud Code now does. And I did a vibe coding project as an example on this channel a couple of weeks back. And the results just floored me. It is getting really, really good and it is getting super capable and it is continuing to improve. So, yeah, agentic AI, big step function in AI development. And we are going to be seeing the effects of that start playing out next year or this year now, 2026. So last year is when agents started being deployed everywhere and we started using them. And I think we're going to really start seeing some major impacts of them this year. All right. I'll see you later, everybody. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And all my links are down below as well. See you next time. Bye bye.